The Miami Dolphins just pulled off a surprise move, one no one saw coming. They've brought tight end Darren Waller out of retirement, acquiring his rights from the New York Giants in a low-risk trade involving a conditional sixth-round pick for a seventh in 2027. Sounds crazy? It is, and it's sending ripples across the league. Now, let's bring it back to Dallas. Just this morning, there was buzz building around the Cowboys potentially exploring tight end options. There was chatter, there was hope. But with Waller now heading to Miami, any talk of Dallas making a similar move? Consider it dead, at least for now. The deal Miami offered was light, mostly incentives, a throwaway future pick, meaning this could still blow up in their face if Waller's truly done. But if he flashes anything close to his old form, this becomes a steal. And it's a reminder to the Cowboys front office. Moves can still be made, but you've got to act fast. And while that unfolds, there's even more troubling news closer to home. Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, two cornerstones of this Dallas defense, could be dealing with concerning developments. We'll break that down next. Reports this morning reveal that the Steelers have offered edge rusher T.J. Watt a contract extension that would make him the highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL, at least by average annual value. But here's the twist. Despite the big number, the deal isn't done. Why? Guaranteed money. This is classic Steelers business. They've never been known for handing out massive guarantees beyond the first year or two. But the NFL has changed. Players, especially elite pass rushers, expect financial security deep into their deals now. And Pittsburgh? They're still stuck negotiating like it's 2010. Now, here's why this matters to the Cowboys. Micah Parsons is next. Dallas has their own generational pass rusher who's about to hit that same contract discussion wall. And if Watt's deal doesn't go smoothly or gets dragged out over guarantees, it's a massive red flag for what could come with Micah. The game within the game is playing out. Who gets paid first, Watt or Parsons? And more importantly, who gets paid right? Because let's be clear, the first big contract sets the bar. If Watt signs for sky-high numbers with limited guarantees, the Cowboys might try that same formula with Parsons. But if Pittsburgh gives in and locks Watt down with serious guaranteed money, that becomes Micah's new standard. And it's going to cost Dallas a lot. This is more than a negotiation. It's a message to every team that has to pay a pass rusher in the next year. The Cowboys are officially on the clock. Look at the market right now. Myles Garrett has $123.6 million in total guarantees. Nick Bosa, $122.5 million. That's the neighborhood Micah Parsons is about to move into, whether Dallas is ready or not. So what happens next with T.J. Watt and Micah? It's a race, and the winner is going to reset the market. One signs for $40,250,000 per year. The other's going to want $40.50, then maybe $41, and on it goes. Here's the brutal truth. If the Cowboys wait too long, they'll be the ones left holding the most expensive bill. They had the chance. They could have been proactive, locked Micah in before Garrett got his monster payday, before Bosa broke the bank, before Watt even stepped into negotiations. But they didn't. Now, every day that passes is another $1 million added to Parsons' future price tag. He's only getting better, he's only getting louder, and he's already told them what he wants. Urgency. This isn't about cap space, it's not about leverage, it's about vision, about recognizing greatness before it becomes unaffordable. If Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones want to win while they still have the core of this team intact, they have to stop playing it safe and start acting like they mean it. Pick up the phone, call the agent, handle business before it handles you. Because if the Cowboys keep waiting, they'll find themselves last in line, paying record-breaking money for a mistake they could have avoided months ago. Let's be honest, the only ones benefiting from this delay are Micah Parsons and his agent. Every hour the Cowboys stall, his value climbs higher. They don't need to rush. They've got all the leverage. The longer it drags out, the more it'll cost Dallas, plain and simple. And while $1 million here or there might not feel like much in isolation, it's death by 1,000 cuts. You delay a deal once, twice, suddenly that extra money becomes 5, maybe even 10 million. Now you're tight on cap space. Suddenly, a player like Jordan Lewis slips through your fingers because you couldn't afford him anymore. That's how a team chips away at its own foundation. Not by one massive mistake, but by a series of small ones that pile up fast. This is what bad teams do. This is what cautious front offices do. But Dallas? Dallas doesn't have time for caution. Not with a title window still open. And now, just as the contract talk simmers, another storm cloud rolls in. According to team insider Bryan, the Cowboys may not know Trayvon Diggs' true recovery timeline until mid-August. That's cutting it dangerously close to the regular season. Diggs has been vocal about his goal to return by week 1. But hope is not a strategy. Dallas must prepare for the reality that its Pro Bowl corner might not be ready when the lights come on. And with no clarity until mid-preseason, that's a risk no contending defense wants hanging over its head. The message is clear. It's time to stop delaying the inevitable. Lock up your superstars. Know your injury timelines. Act like a team that wants to win now, not later. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. If you don't know whether Trayvon Diggs can play in week 1 by mid-August, chances are he's not playing in week 1. You can read between the lines all you want, but this isn't about optimism anymore. It's about realism. And the reality is, the Cowboys have quietly expected Diggs to miss time ever since he underwent that unusual knee surgery. Yes, Diggs is aiming for a week 1 return. And yes, that mindset is admirable. But is it realistic? Honestly, it doesn't look like it. Everything points to him starting training camp on the physically unable to perform (PUP) list, working on the side, rehabbing, staying close but not quite there. And the truth? No one knows when he'll be back. Week 1? Maybe. Week 5? Possibly. Week 10 or later? It's on the table. So for now, Cowboys fans have no choice but to take the wait-and-see approach. It's frustrating. It's unclear. But it's the hand we've been dealt. And here's where it really stings. Diggs isn't just some rotational guy. He's being paid like a cornerstone. But at this point, Dallas has to treat him like a wild card. A bonus piece, not a sure thing. He's coming off another serious injury. He's not a speed guy to begin with. So when he does return, don't expect the all-pro version right away. It could take weeks, maybe months, before he looks like the player we remember. That's the harsh reality. The Cowboys can't afford to lean on hope. They need to build a secondary that's ready to roll with or without Trayvon Diggs. It's not fair to expect Trayvon Diggs to come back and immediately be the player he once was. We just don't know what he'll be. And here's the part no one wants to talk about. This could be his final season in Dallas. That's the reality of his contract. No one wants to see him gone. Cowboys fans want him on that field, making plays, locking down wideouts like he always has. But we can't operate on wishful thinking. We have to prepare for the possibility that Diggs doesn't return in time, or worse, doesn't return at full strength at all. And if that happens, this cornerback room could be in serious trouble. Right now, you're banking on Darren Waller to carry the load. You're hoping Kaiir Elam finds his rhythm. Behind them, you're leaning on hope. Names like Kalen Barnes, Israel Mukwamu, Andrew Booth Jr., and a handful of unproven depth pieces. And here's the nightmare scenario. What if another injury happens? This is the NFL. Injuries are not a matter of if, but when. One more setback in that secondary, and suddenly the Cowboys are facing a dangerously thin and vulnerable cornerback unit. That's why this matters so much. That's why it's not just about Trayvon's timeline. It's about the entire structure of this defense. The Cowboys need to reinforce this secondary. Not next month, not during the season. Now, because hoping Diggs makes it back in time is not a plan. It's a gamble, and the stakes could define the entire season.